So we're going to start without a mic. Okay, I don't know how it sounds right now, but what we're doing right now, welcome in. I know I'm a little early, but we're testing out mics. I have gone through so many different mics and headsets. It's unbelievable between dealing with different apps and what they're requiring you to do, all the way down to how the quality sounds when I produce music or composition or something. And I don't know, this is great to take walks on. This is a great one when you're going for a walk and you're wanting to listen to music. The iMore, I'm not going to connect it because if I connect it, then it's going to be a problem. Buds, earbuds, I think they're called earbuds. Okay, and then this was great because you have a little light, and I think this is for gaming, but it's terrible sound. And the mic is not very good. The sound is okay, but the mic quality was just not up to standard. Same thing here. There's a built-in mic, but the mic was just really not up to standard. And then we switched over to different types of mics. Now, this was I decided to buy one of these. So I'm going to plug this in now. Let's just plug this in. This is not bad. Now, before I get into that, I had changed. I think the iPhone that I'm using now is different than the iPhone that I was using when I first started. We're just listening to the mics at the moment. And I'm going to just test out the sounds so you guys can come back and check out the sounds later. But the end of the new iPhone has a connection that looks like that, which is different than the original one that had this. So I've had to work my way around how to make this work. Well, Brandon decided that he needed to change the mic. So here, I'm going to try this out. This wouldn't have worked if I had not gotten this connector. Where is it? Which is the connector? There are two different connectors. So this connector, yeah, this connector connects. This connector connects with, there are like a whole bunch of things you need to do if you want to use old equipment. It's quite something. I mean, I just wish Apple didn't have this way of upgrading. I do wish that they had another approach to this upgrading process. And this one has this attachment. So you need to plug this in. This is like the USB cable. This is for camera, but you can also use it for like a different purpose. Hi, welcome in. I don't have mic on right now. I'm testing out the mic so you guys can see how dramatic this is. This is like quite something. Okay, now I have to plug this in. It's like you have to have all these connectors. Now I'm gonna have a listen to. Is this on? I think this mic is on. Gosh, I don't know if it's working. Let me know if this mic is working. I don't see a light on, which is bothering me a little bit. I don't know what the deal is with that. Did I need to charge it? Usually, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. If not, yeah. Yeah, I'm showing, this is why I thought it was a good reason to do this. I have a whole bunch of things that I have used, from headsets to Bluetooths, right? To, oh gosh, yeah, Bluetooth, and then this is a new one that I got, and I just found that all of these whole things are just disastrous, and I'm going back to my original Rhodes. If you listen to my other first couple of videos when I started, I had this one. This Rhodes mic was amazing. Hold on a second. I don't know why the light's not on. That's kind of weird. 2 seconds. Now, the only problem is when it comes down to mics. Okay, this is the only thing with this stupid one is that I need to now. It's good that you're watching because this is what I have to go through every time I have to consider sound on your, when you're doing a recording. I don't know if you can hear me, but I thought there was a light that was on here that goes, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is no light. Maybe it's from my other one. I don't know. So I'm going to leave this here, but I'm going to detach it quickly. I'm going to detach this. So you're going to hear me without a mic because I'm busy. Okay, so now we're going to test this one out, right? Welcome in. This is important. I think, yeah, welcome in. So I'm going to put this one on me. But this one is not great if you're producing music, okay? I have had to try to figure out why the sound is not. Rhodes are good, but the Bluetooth Rhodes is not good when you're trying to produce music, okay? I've discovered that my older videos they just sound so much better. And I'm like, what is the reason why they sound better? Is that what happens with a Bluetooth mic, which I did not know about until the other day, is that it actually pinches the sound. So even though you're trying to produce a track, the sound that you're trying to get, the quality that comes out of your speakers, does not come out effectively when you're using a Bluetooth mic, as I have discovered. Okay, so now we're just doing this whole dismantling so I can show you the difference between the sound, how it sounds with the music, and then how it sounds separately. But while I'm getting this together, pardon me if I'm dismantling this, okay? And this is the only problem with this whole cabled. This is why, you know, when you have recording studios, I don't know if you guys have ever been into a proper recording studio, but there are cables everywhere, everywhere. It's not just, and some of them are just like a disaster. I have been to studios that are just, they haven't been cleaned for months. They just look like the cables were not put to, like this. This is a good example. This was just not, I did not do a good job taking this apart and putting it together, okay? But I just want to show you, I'm going to start using this again for the production side. And I'm going to take it out just now. Okay, we're going to put music on just now. We are going through a dilemma here. You can hear this mic that I have right now. It's okay, but it's not great when you're listening to tracks. So it's okay when you're doing like movement and you're going around, maybe you're doing something outside. But if you're recording something and you're trying to do like, I'll listen, like I'll give you an example. You'll hear the difference. And I just managed to get a connector, right? Where's the connector? Here's the connector. Because I have a new, I think it's an iPhone 15 and they changed the adapter again. I'm just like, oh, Apple. So I have to get a new connector in order to use this old one because this does not work with the new phone, right? It's just this is what people have to go through when you have to think about upgrading. I don't like to upgrade very much. Only because I know, like, sometimes the upgrade could be, look, I upgraded the microphone, it's not that good. Good example. Let's listen to this with this mic, and then I'm gonna switch it out, and you're going to tell me what you think, because I can definitely hear the difference. I'm gonna put this mic, there are two. This comes with two, right? I'm gonna put this mic here. I'm telling you right now, it's not working as well as I wanted it to. I don't know if that's gonna hold, but let's give it a try. Maybe my little dyno will. It's not. The quality is just not good. I'm just not happy with. I'm gonna have you listen to it. Okay, now we're gonna switch over while this is happening. Okay. It's very staticky. I was listening back to it before, and it's just static. Now we're gonna switch it out. You're gonna hear a difference because it pinches the sound. The Bluetooth pinches the sound. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull this out. It's unbelievable, the difference. I'm gonna have to change this. So I have to change an extension. Okay, I think you guys are gonna hear the difference. Can you hear? Surround sound. I think it makes a difference. And I don't even need to worry about such a difference. I can't hear it now, but when I replay it, I'll listen to it. And I can move around without having it pinched. The sound when you're using something like a Bluetooth Don't use it if you're going to be doing like music stuff. I have learned my lesson. This will be used. Can you hear the difference? You can hear the difference, I'm sure. Yeah. So I'm busy testing out the mics because I think when you are starting on, doing video editings and stuff, here I am trying out all sorts of mics. And I still go back to this Rode mic, which is the Lavier. This is the Lavier Rode mic. It's really good. But if you have a new iPhone or a new phone in general, you need to upgrade your cable. Like you need to have a new connector because it will not work with the cables that you have on your phone. If you go into the bottom of your phone, there are different cables. This is what the cable looks like, right? That's the end of the phone. That connector is different than this one. So if you have an old phone, it's not going to work if you upgrade. So you have to get new cables to reuse the old equipment. This is one of the reasons why I absolutely hate updating. I hate it. I can't stand it, and I'd rather use an old phone than upgrade a new phone to a new phone because it's just causes disaster. So I think you can hear. Can you hear the difference? I don't know if you've sat here for a few moments and listened. I'm gonna put it back in. I'm gonna have you listen to the difference. I think there's a big difference. I think there's a huge difference with the sound quality. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the other one. Let's have you listen to this. Okay. I just don't think it's that good. This is also for me to assess, right? But I already know by watching all the older videos. Oh, sorry. Watching my older videos, I know the sound was better. And the sound was better is because I used this Rode mic. This is a great mic. If you're looking for a mic that's not too expensive and you can move around, I recommend this Lavier. I think that's what it's pronounced. Which is a Rode mic. The other ones are great, but if you're producing music or doing anything technical, I'm just testing out the mics now, but I think that there is a big difference. I'll use this when I'm, for instance, working on like a different concept, but I think I think I can hear the difference. I know that it sounds different. I think it's cleaner and crispier when you hear the music. Okay, can you hear that? And it's much smaller than this crazy one. But I have to tell you that to get this to work on the new one, you have to have an extra extension. It's it's madness. But I think all part of when you're doing video editing and production, I think it all matters to listen to every one of the videos that you've done just to assess it. I mean, it's all about assessing your stuff, right? It's just how it is. These are cool. I like that it has like a light, but I don't think it's like, I haven't used it on the phone for a while, but I mean, for gaming purposes or being creative, maybe. I haven't tried this in a while. Okay, but like it's cool if you're wanting to do like some fun stuff, right? But I don't think it's like quality. I think this is more to play around with like concepts and creativity. So if you're doing like a video, right? And you want to do like a little dancing video, maybe something like this. But if you're doing like a professional video and talking about music production, these might not be it. Right? So I just got them on the side. Okay. So this is where I began with sound And then I moved to like a whole bunch of different ones, and only to find out that I'm still back on this one. It's so bizarre. So if you're looking for a good mic, you can hear the difference. This is a good mic. It's called the Lavier Rode mic. Okay. And you need to get a second connection because it's quite short. You see, this is just one section. You would have to get like a longer extension over here, like I do. So I'm going to use this today. I'll use the roads later, and then the iMore is cool, but it's not like great. Right? A good comparison video so you can hear what's going on. And underneath my legs, lots of cables. Like there are a whole bunch of cables. Right? But I can hear the difference. I'm sure I don't have to like make too much of a noise. We can focus on the sound of me talking while you hear the music, which is like a lot better, my honest opinion. Let's put this. Yeah, that's better. Okay, and then you can get like the surround sound, which is interesting, right? And I think when I was in South Africa, I moved back to South Africa in 2001, 2002. And YouTube was created, I think, in 2005. So when I was in South Africa, they were busy building the YouTube, and then MySpace came out as well, which is what I was mostly using. So the three dudes that created YouTube were like my age. You can just imagine. So I'm their age. The guys who created YouTube are my age. Let's put it that way. It's like a whole generation X extravaganza. So the internet happened because of our generation. That's basically what this is. So we're very attuned to how certain things work and the connections because we were experimenting and exploring things before the internet were like a thing, right? This was like that was my generation. So my husband, partner, he studied what was it? Aerospace engineering. So he's like a little bit of a smart guy when it comes down to creating technology and stuff. He probably could create a robot. If I asked him, listen, do you know how to create a robot? He probably would give me the answer. Like, yeah, I could probably make one. He knows how to build computers. So our generation was known to be like the instigators of experimenting to get us to the stage of technology now. Right? It's like a big thing. That's our generation. So I was experimenting with mics, and I find that going back to this mic is so better than using this Rode mic, which I bought because I was like, I should get this Rode mic because maybe it works for moving around, but it dampers the sound in the production. I'm sure you can hear the difference, right? So yeah, that's the whole thing. So yeah, the YouTube was created by people who are my age, Generation X, Gen Xers. Okay, three dudes, three guys who were working at PayPal, and then eventually sold to Google. I think a few months later. So there's like a whole story. I found a video on YouTube telling or talking about the whole of the YouTube history, which is really interesting to watch. So if you don't know like the whole story behind how it came about, it might be good to take a look into the history of YouTube and how Google managed to kind of like work through the process and stuff and remove the kinks. And from what I hear, there were a lot of problems with copyright claims back in the day, which is why they're so strict on copyright, right? It's important. The reason why I can go live and not have a problem with playing music, or you probably can't find too many people doing that, is because I own the rights to the music. If I were to play something like Janet Jackson or Madonna or I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think I might be taken down in 5 seconds because that music I do not own. So I would recommend building from scratch. Like if you are the type of person who likes to build things, like we're builders. My generation are builders. We're builders. We are the builders. Welcome in. Yeah, that's okay. Streams are good. I hope you guys are okay. Yeah, let me know what you think about you're welcome to comment, but I think I set it up where people who are subscribed to me actually can have a conversation, which is cool. Um we're just talking through technology, and even though this whole question on updating and buying new stuff, everybody's so excited about buying new stuff, and sometimes buying new stuff is not always the answer. Sometimes maintaining your old stuff and keeping it like together is far more greater than buying and upgrading these things. This is I don't need to just put this here. These Sonys are over 10 years old. These are over 10 years old. I've kept them. Okay. The speaker's over 10 years old. The keyboard is over 10 years old. The computer is over 10 years old. The only thing that I've been upgrading are my sound, like my headsets and stuff. It's which is like I should learn from my mistakes. Don't do it. So yeah, I could have saved more money knowing not to do all this crazy stuff, right? So that's like the whole thing. So I guess a warning to other people who are like, oh, all these new things. No, focus on you don't have to buy all these new things. It's a waste of money. I think focusing on what you have and solidifying like how you can use it might be the better solution because yeah, this could get very expensive if you're not careful. That's all I know. And I've just been collecting this stuff when I first moved back to the States. Thank goodness I had a job working at Guitar Center. So I was able to accumulate after 3.5 years of teaching there. This equipment that I have. It's not a lot, but it works, right? It works. Like for me, this is fine. We don't have a huge place. And that's how I work with it. This might be good for this pile. It's not bad. This if you're doing like podcasts and you're just sitting down might be a good mic. No issues there. It wasn't very expensive. Pile's probably one of the cheaper versions of uh equipment you can find. It was made in America. So the parts are probably made from the States, which is good. And I think some of the piles, there was another pile thing that I had. This is for a portable. Hold on a second. This is for since I'm doing pile. Okay, so if you're wanting to do like a portable studio, this is cool. This actually does work. This does work. This is like a a very mini. So you can walk around with this, plug this into your phone, put like some of the equipments, like your instruments in here, and then work with, like, I don't know if it's like great for, maybe you can plug a little tiny speaker in here too. Or your headset. I know your headset works in here. So file's good. I think I got this for like 40 something. This was the Yamaha was this. I think I got this for 60 something. Let's put it this way. In total, I had to work very hard to get all this equipment. Okay. This is everything I worked towards. Everything I worked towards, plus all the education that I had in the past. Okay. Always important to think about what you're going to use. I may use this for something else later, right? That's like important. Okay. Work a little bit smarter. music, reading music, music theory. I have like lists and lists of things. And then with the art, I do the AI stuff as well. But before I did the AI stuff, I actually draw and I use Photoshop. And on your phone, you can actually have there's an app which is the portable version of Adobe Photoshop, which is Adobe Frisco. So if you haven't used Adobe Frisco, it's really cool because you can just like, yeah, I teach my art class with it. I do my like this is like these my little sketches for my students. But these sketches that I do over here are actually done on Adobe Frisco. And then we just kind of like, I do my, I have my students' homework and then I send it to his parents uh, through my iPad. So instead of walking around with a canvas or a sketch pad and then give him a piece of paper to hand over for homework, I end up using the Adobe Frisco and then I send that this file because I've now drawn it and sketched it out on Adobe Frisco and then sent it over to him. So Adobe Frisco is cool. You can get it on all your apps. I have it on here as well. Before you even try using, this is my personal opinion, before you even try using, you have to, like, I think this is a great place to experiment. Like I did my logo on here, right? So I actually did my website logo on Adobe Frisco. Okay, so that's my website. You can do it by hand. You can either get a pen or use your finger. And I find it's just easier to use a finger sometimes. So I use my finger for a lot of the drawings and sketches that I do, right? Right. And then Poshmark. Yeah, there are like lots of things. So I can modify these images. Say for instance, okay, so this is for Poshmark. I use these images and if it's not perfect in the design, I reconstruct the design. And you can see in the sections over here, let me just see if I can expand this. No, I can't. I'll just bring this closer. In this section over here, I'm actually editing and modifying this image if it doesn't look the same as the actual garment that I have. So there are many things you can do. But this Adobe Frisco, if you're looking for a portable, if you don't know if it's around, if you're looking for a portable Photoshop, this is the portable Photoshop. There's another one that's called, I think, Photoshop, like Adobe. There's something else. There was another name for it. I don't use that one as often. This one, Frisco, is great because it is just like, it's Photoshop. It's just portable. I think it's great. I think you can transfer images. Like I took some photographs. This is also from the class I did. I teach art as well, right? I don't just teach music, I teach art. So say you have some images you take in a photograph and you need to put them compartmentalize and put them all together. You can transfer those images. You can transfer those images straight onto your Adobe Frisco and then make it like a larger, just like a one file instead of like 3 files. Right. So, and then we're talking about homework and stuff. Okay. So I don't just do the music, folks. My channel has, like, as a Gen Xer, I think more people who are of my generation are people who are able to do multiple things. I'm from the 70s. Just think, I'm from the 70s. I'm a 70s baby, okay? So I'm a 70s baby, meaning I'm in my like late 40s. And most people of our generation, I've even spoken to my husband partner, known him my entire life, been together for years. He is also a multitasker. And I find that people who come from that generation that did not have technology, we have like many skills because we had to work with what we had. It's just a normal phase in society. And then you have society that assumes the older generation, the generation that came before me, who always assumes, oh, you have to have one angle. I'm like, nah, I'm a rebel. I'm going to focus on all the angles that I've taught myself or the things that I've learned throughout the years, and I'm going to bring them together. So the Gen Xers are known to be creators of all sorts of fantastic things. Like I said, the people who created YouTube were actually people of my age. So, and then the internet, same story. And then you had MySpace, which I don't use anymore because it's hardly being used, right? So there were things that were happening before the generation that's just receiving the internet. It's we were doing many things in history that we're not able to do by ourselves independently before technology came about. So, yeah, learning from our generation is the right approach because we're giving you two different perspectives. We understand the technology, but we also understand the world before the technology existed. And I think having the two together is like important to understand, right? That's like a big thing. Okay, so hopefully this is working. Hopefully this is working better than it was. When I start working on something else, I may switch over to this mic, but this is a Bluetooth. I just don't recommend this. I was testing, it doesn't sound as good. So yeah, that's where we are right now. I'm tempted to do a little bit more vocals, but I'm a little tired. You have to be on tip top shape when you're recording something. Today is not the day for vocals. I can add another layer though. Or maybe I start a new piece. We'll see. I need to moderate. I need to mix and master actually. Okay. So I'm gonna switch over to if you're wanting to zoom into the stuff that I'm doing, feel free. Okay. Oops. So I'm gonna work on now you can zoom in and zoom out. I don't know if you know that, just a new thing, a little trick. If you're looking at another live or you're watching live, you can zoom in and zoom out with your own fingers. It's just cool. Okay. I don't know. Actually, that sounds better because I did adjust a few things. Where is that? Yeah, so I'm from the generation of when YouTube was first created, right? That was I guess it's the beginning of the gaming era where everybody, all the parents were complaining about, oh, don't use like the games, it's a bad idea because it's never going to amount to a job. Now all the jobs are like in gaming, so it's like, like listening to the parents. If we had all listened to our parents, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be here where we are with technology today. Sorry, parents, but it's true. It's true. And a lot of the people who constructed the technology were all gamers, so we were people were tampering, like they were playing around with how the electronics worked. For me, my game was sound engineering and production and how music worked with technology because that was the kind of stuff I enjoyed. I was like ahead of the game. I didn't have a lot of people during that time. Not a lot of people of my age nor gender were doing it. So it's like a little thing for me. Nobody else, not everybody's doing it, right? So it's not like a big deal. I don't know if that's good. We're gonna try it out. Wait. Okay, let me send this down 2 seconds. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear the difference, but I think I'm pretty sure and accurate that the reason why the sound was not just so fantastic was because let me just see what I can do here. I just want to hear. Maybe I don't have to re-record. I just need to duplicate the sections. Let me just see. I'm going to just put that. Let's see. Okay, so I just want to hear. Oh, now the problem is when you record, you shouldn't be hearing all these little bits and pieces. But let me just. It's so frustrating. It's like, oops. Oh no. What the heck? Yeah, was not supposed to track. Okay. Hopefully I didn't scuff that. Gosh, that would be terrible. Okay, so I'm going to just make this. I just want to hear what we have here. This mess. And see if I can just use any of these parts and take it from there. So I don't have to. Let's see what we have. Okay. Now I doubled it up. Okay, so now we can, I think, silence this section. Take that out. I might use that part. Okay, I'll adjust that later. Okay, next. You can hear those parts? That should not be. Okay, so that is a little off. So we want that to go away. And we might just repeat those sections. You know, my favorite, one of my all-time favorites musicians is Janet Jackson. And she's known to sing like not loudly. And I like the fact that there's one person in the entire industry that just made it a statement to just be quiet when she sings. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I love the fact that she does that kind of stuff. We can keep that maybe. No, I think one is good. So where's that piece? It's okay. Next. So instead of wasting the sounds, I'm reconstructing the sounds, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. Oops. Earlier I was, that's definitely off. That is off, so we do not want this one. This one has to go away. Okay. Next. So we have that already at the other section, so we don't need that now. I'm going to just silence this. Okay, next. I think just this. Wait, what? Gotta be you. I think it gotta be you. Just see. Where is that? I don't know what I'm dealing with here yet. Let me just see. Take the baby off. Okay. So this is time consuming. No, okay, that works. Okay. So, okay, let's see the next part. So you can zoom in and zoom out if you're interested. Yeah, that we can keep. I don't think I need all of them, so I'm going to just out. Doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to silence that. Okay, so let me here. I'm going to change the sound of it later. Let's see what we got here. And then I'll start modifying the sound. Hmm. Okay, wait. That should be. I think I'm going to move that here. Wait, what? Maybe it's okay. Let me just see. Okay, hold on, hold on. Okay, hold on. I don't know. Should I just leave it in the same place originally? Hold on. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try it again. Okay. So we need to bring this over. It does have to happen. Okay. So that has to be here. A little rough because I need to find the right places now. Hold on a second before I do anything. Let's do this. I don't need that. Okay. So I can now work with this. Okay. Hold on. That's why it has to be there. Audio, voice adjustments, natural. Let's do echo. Echo. Okay. So we just need to expand yeah, that sounds right. Okay. So enlarge, lengthen the sound out a little bit. So let's see if that does anything. Okay. That sounded okay. Yeah, that sounds a bit better. Let me just see if I can adjust the volume here. Okay, I'm going to save that. So what I did was I'm layering again. I'm layering again. And speaking of layering, I like to talk about AI because AI is sort of new technology, but not really because the MIDI was created before AI. We always, obviously, we had things like people building and constructing, builders of my generation. We're always constructing and creating new ideas and mechanisms because we were always bored of the things that were out there. We always wanted to do more. That's just how we are as a generation, right? So something like the MIDI was created before the AI, which creates waves, and the waves are layered to make something like this, which is sound. The same thing applies for visuals. When AI was created, it was based off the same format where you actually layer on top of layer on top of layer, which then creates an image in three-dimensional but two-dimensional depending on the computer technology, right? It's projected. It's like an eye. An eye is projecting light, and in theory, our brains are seeing it backwards, and the eye transfers it into like the right way around. So that's like it's you have to think of it as just a new form of science because it is science. It is not some mystery anomaly that happened and it just arrived out of nowhere through space and the aliens are taking over, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you look into science and how things are constructed, it comes from a many generations and decades and centuries of constructing things that will work on a faster, easier format. They people are wanting to make things move faster. I mean, not everybody has the skills. So every for instance, AI is constructed to help people. Like I use AI all the time. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but there's a built-in AI system, just like a chat GBT, which I get help with all the time on YouTube. So if you're needing advice, go check out the what is it? What is it called? Uh, AI Studios and ask away. Ask away. That is the best place to learn. It gives you the best advice. It goes into your files. It checks out your like formats. It is so good. You will be stunned. You will be stunned. It is Ask AI. Wait, let me just check. Let me just check. It is, yeah. It is that little star over here. You see that star? If you haven't tried it, there's a little star over there. You press that star and you ask away. Ask Studio. This is like I personally think Ask Studio is even far more powerful than ChatGPT. I'm sorry, but it's won me over completely. I am not ever going back to ChatGPT. This is like if you're in YouTube and you're busy constructing and developing stuff, this is by far the best way to learn, to understand, to identify issues before it happens. It helps you like through the whole process. Okay, so that's part of it. But you have to have an understanding of the technical things. Like you need to know what you want to do and how you're going to construct this. And you have to make sure that your channel has no copyright strikes, meaning the visuals have to be yours and the sound has to be yours and everything else in between you got to own. Because what I've looked up so far is that YouTube has had major problems with copyright strikes and issues and a whole bunch of things that have happened from uh from creators. So that's like why I do everything from ground zero. Okay, that's why I do everything from ground zero means you are free from those issues. Okay, yeah. I think the sound's gonna be better. Right? Yeah. So I'm the older generation now, right? I'm not the just because I collect all these things and I like fluffy stuff doesn't mean that I'm always necessarily the same age as this generation growing up with social media. I'm the generation that created the social media. That's my generation. Okay. So creating something like this, you need to start with a layer. I'm gonna actually, you know what? I'm gonna start a new track. Save because I think a lot of people haven't seen the construction. Okay, let me start a new track. So we're gonna start new. New. Did I save it? Just save it. Let me just save. Okay, and then just new. Just new, closed. We're gonna start a whole new one. Okay. Blank canvas. A blank canvas. And the reason why I don't do oil paintings or all of those shenanigans is because I have the worst skin allergies I have personally ever seen in my entire life with chemicals. So I stay away from the chemicals. I kind of play around with the technology side because for me, there's no, besides obviously some of the waves, that could be a problem. I don't technically have, I'm not breaking out into a rash. I'm not stressing out because my face has come up with something. I'm in a space where I know I'm not going to have any skin issues because the skin allergies I have might be the worst I have personally ever seen. It's terrible. So to play it safe, I have found ways around the paint. Uh, and that is why I do like the textile stuff and the fashion ideas and the AI things is because it's safe for me to use. I'm not having that horrible rash that I would generally have on my skin if I were to use things that have watercolor is okay. I can use watercolor. Watercolor, acrylic sometimes, but the watercolor is safer for me to use. It's just, yeah, graphic design was my go-to. I built the websites using graphic Photoshop and photography, so I know how to use the tripod. That's like part of the whole process, right? Yeah. So some people have skin rashes. I have the worst. It's a bad case. First off, let's choose a key signature. E minor. Okay, so this is a good place to start. Let's start something with C. So before you start actually a composition, you need to know the key signature that you got to use, right? So you need to know how to play the scales, right? Okay, and the reason why it sounds a certain way is because I'm managing the sound that is happening with the music. I'm not just going in there and kind of playing around. When I produce music, I know what I'm doing already. I know a scale. So if I want to say I'm going to do it in C major, I just pop it in there. I know what's going on in the system. Bloop. I put C major. Here, we'll do it in C major. I have it on E flat right now. We'll go into a C major, C major. Okay. 4/4. That's C major. C major is like fun. It's a good place to start. So if you're wanting to learn a scale, it's taken me 45, 44 years to learn what I know. Okay, that's like a no joke like scenario with music. This it's I grew up in a family of musicians. My mom was a music teacher. She was an opera singer. So, the first thing that we did was we learned music at the age of 3. That was like our family thing. This was something that she was like adamant about. It's like, you're not going anywhere. You're going to sit down and you're going to do your homework. And your homework is music. And where are you going to play? Piano. So that's me at the age of 3. Okay. So it could work. Okay. If we're going to do it in C major, let's see what we can start with. 4/4 tempo 100. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe it's too fast. Let's start with, let's change the key signature the tempo. This is called the tempo. Oops. Uh, no, nothing there yet. Okay. Beat in time. Project. Okay, so let's do 89. Or not. Let's do 89. Sounds a little weird, but okay, I'll probably change it up in a bit. And these are called loops. Back in the day, there were no such things as loops. Loops were another addition to technology getting easier for producers and musicians to use. Okay, so everything is eased up. Things were more complicated. Everything was so much harder in the States. Not in the States, in the 80s. Okay, the 80s was a hard time. Okay, we had a very difficult time. So everything just got easier from here on out, right? Computers are doing the jobs for the people. Loops were created originally with like notes. We now have loops that are created, and now AI is creating stuff. So everything has just gotten easier. But I think refining the old school way is probably a very good angle to come from, right? Sometimes it's important to have the skills and basics. No, not sometimes, all the time. '60s. See, these are called loops. Just like the other one, I created the loops. I had 3 loops and that was it basically. I'm like, I don't get it faster. Let's do 200. See the tempo changes? They call it BPM now. It was called tempo back in the day. Okay, we can use this. Okay, so I'm just starting an experiment because I don't know if everybody's seen me produce all the pieces, but everything you listen to of the videos that I've done are songs that I've produced by myself, like starting from scratch. What I'm doing here, oh, that's G. You want to keep it in C. The whole point is to find sorry. I would start with the question, but yeah. Minor. Oh, okay, we could use that. Okay, and then another thing that I do is I don't just read music, I play by ear. So I have two skills, even in music. Not everybody reads the music either. So I learned from the background of a family that actually had formal music education instructors from day one. So it's like music has been my second voice or my second language my whole life. This is not an overnight thing, unfortunately, right? And yeah, it does take time. Okay, so let's loop that for now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't usually record in C major. Okay, so I'm going to loop. I'm gonna do this. Uh, okay. Okay. Let's just copy and paste. Copy. It's gonna. I don't want to. You can put it out throughout, but sometimes you want to pull out pieces. So I don't like. There are shortcuts, but I never use them. So I just copy and paste like the old school way. Back to the old school. Copy paste. Copy paste. I never know. I never remember the like shortcuts. We should ask Brandon sometime. What's up with the shortcuts? Just can't remember. Those are the. I think that was my sister's. They had all these shortcuts that they started creating. Like that's my sister's generation. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna just leave that for now. I'm gonna just do that. Okay, and then we're gonna go. Copy, paste again. So what you're seeing here is I'm creating the loops that I grabbed from that section over here, which are the loops. Those are loops. These are loops. These are pre-made loops. I'm now copying and pasting, right? So this is like a whole process here. I'm copying and pasting over here so that we have something to kind of work with. And then I was just coming up with something with the piano parts, which is like a whole thing. Right. Oops, I don't need that. Take that one out. Okay. This bar at the top is just basically helping you keep it a whole thing as a loop, which is kind of cool. I think it's useful. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me do this for now. I need to feed my fur baby. He is watching me. I'll be back. So I think that's Lavier, Larvier is back. Okay, come, Dior. Let's give you dinner. Come, come on. Okay. Okay. And I know a lot of people have used those chords. Just like I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So I don't want to use things that are too similar because I find that if it's too similar, everybody picks it up and then it's like a problem. You want it to be a little bit more authentic. Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. Like, I'm tempted to learn a piece on here, but then I'm also concerned about doing a piece that is composed by somebody else and then it's um repurposed on the live because I hear I could also get a strike on that. So I'm trying not to um deal with those problems. I would like to keep this channel safe from uh those problems. So always best to, like, I think finding a space to like record or play by ear is like sometimes a good thing. YouTube is great for that. Like, this is the place to explore ideas. Like, you can't copy people. You have to explore the ideas yourself. These are half steps. C major. All right. Second inversion, right? What is that? You just find them? I'm pretty sure it's half steps. Okay, that's an experimental song. Okay, let's go back to the other piece. We'll just save this for now. It was just a quick talk on the necessities of understanding the fundamentals of music. Like, I have a whole bunch of videos talking about the music theory because music theory, that's what you're learning in school, in junior high, high school, elementary school. The theory, the music theory is, and then this music production stuff is a little bit more advanced. You have to, I don't know, I think maybe it's easier nowadays. I don't know, but back then it was like a lot of stuff. I'll just say music. No clue what I'm gonna call this. Let's just say music C major. Having a lozenge in my mouth if it's clicking. Apologies. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to the other one. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think it's just, So in order to get to this, you need to develop some skills. This is not talent. I cannot say that music at this stage is a talent. Music is a work in progress. There is, like, I don't think talent has anything to do with it at this point. It's a methodical, just like a mathematical formula or scientific formula. You have to figure it out, but you need to learn the skills and the tools, because I'm not great in science. I'm not one of the best science people or math. I'm okay with the music. I understand this. Maybe I just didn't focus enough. It just wasn't my thing. So right, so let me just get this together for New York. I'm gonna actually knit. So my other thing is knitting. In fact, the article that I had at the Smithsonian was knitted. It was for knitting. So I'm gonna just sit and knit, folks. Because I have a headache. I don't know what's going on. My head's like spinning. What's nice about knitting is that you don't have to have a sewing machine. When you don't need a sewing machine, you can maneuver around. So I found that the first thing that I did when I moved back to the States, thank goodness I had my piece. But I was knitting. I was knitting. It was like a thing for me. Another thing that we did in our family, we knit. So I'm not going to do the sewing today. So just a minute. I need to make stuff for Poshmark. So this is my making stuff for Poshmark. Sometimes the knitting is just the easiest way to do things. And sewing is sometimes I make it, but not all the time. Also a very old traditional kind of tool skill, you know. That was like a global thing, right? Knitting. So I'm just doing some today. So I mix it up. I don't just focus on AI is a new tool for me, okay, like everybody else. But because I have all the skills that I've done and used before prior to the time of social media and technology, I use those skills and add it to the new tool because it's all about learning new tools, right? It's a tool, it's a resourceful tool that's supposed to help people. Uh, yeah, that's my thing. That is my approach. Okay, and the systems are here to help, right? And I've been using technology in Japan in the 80s before all of this stuff started coming out. So early adapter, let's put it that way. You have to be productive and make things for Poshmark. All these bigger things I don't sell on Poshmark. That's not, those are just the hobby things, right? The things that I sell need to be smaller, which is where all these things come in, right? It has to be smaller to sell. I can't make, I'm not a large manufacturing company, so I can't produce like tons of things. It has to be small increments of things. But due to the fact that I haven't been knitting, which is some of the stuff that I make, I haven't been able to finish up anything to produce, to sell on Poshmark. So I'm catching up on my Poshmark stuff. Hi, Dior. Okay. Want to come up here? I might extend, I might pull out the vocals right now, not now. I'm thinking about what to do here. And lower the volume in some of the sections. It's always good to have skills, multiple skills, because you are able to do anything. Once again, going back to the beginnings of YouTube, it was started by three guys that were about, oh, one of them was my age, and then two were maybe 1 year older than me. Let me get the names out quickly. Knitting is actually my main forte. Knitting, sewing is not as much, but knitting, my articles have been about knitting. So the guys that created it, Chad Hurley, Steve Chan, and Dodd Karim. And then the first video that was ever uploaded was called Me at the Zoo. Very interesting. I saw that yesterday. It's like a 2-second clip. It's very fascinating. Very first upload. That is so interesting. I wonder if they use like those large cameras. They had large cameras they used to walk around with. I don't know. It's like I think I had my Pentax, but I wasn't filming anything on it. So it's interesting. Oh, the AI and art. Yeah. Yeah, I did that already. Welcome in. I'm knitting now. I have a bit of a headache today. It's just one of those days. And I have to make stuff for Poshmark. So sometimes I knit because this is the stuff that I sell. And I'm also testing out new mics. Not new mics, old mics. This mic did better. Yeah. So I'm just taking it easy right now. Yeah. Yeah, our generation, the polymath was actually a survival mechanism, correct? It's so true. So true. We survived because we had to make things happen. We had no option. We had no option. So our brains are functioning differently, so it's easier for us to figure things out, basically. So that's what- So even now, I'm like talking to Studio AI. Was it Ask Studio? So useful. Like this is great. It's like reading a book here. It's like the book is right in front of us. It's fantastic. I love it. Love it. And mind you, I actually I have a thing for reading, but I'm like we had books back in the day. I used to read a lot of books. I was my one of my favorite books was what was it? Tolkien, Gerald Tolkien, The Hobbits, Lord of the Rings. Uh, yeah, lots of things. C.S. Lewis, Lewis Carroll. Gosh, the old school things. The old school things. I liked a lot of science fiction. I think like mythology, science fiction stuff. I think it's mythology. Yeah, lots of different characters. I'm waiting till 6 and then I'll hit my out. Just doing a little bit of knitting so I get this out quickly. Behind on stock, I have to make stock course craft. I guess this is the craft, right? And I'm hoping that the mic works better. No. Yeah, I'm still So I don't know if you know, I'm multitasking. I'm listening to the track that I'm producing, knitting because I have to make something for Poshmark, and then also speaking to Ask Studio because I got lots of questions. So yeah, tech savvy, old school, like handmade stuff. Yeah, that's what I do. So if you're popping over to my channel, it's the first time you're checking me out. I do like lots of things on this channel. I don't stick to one genre. Everybody says focus on a niche. I'm like, what niche? I don't focus on a niche. I will never focus. I will focus on individual sections because I've learned a whole bunch of things. Like I'm 47, 46. I keep saying I'm 47, but I'm 46 years old. I'll be 47 this year, later on this year. And I think my generation is very much known for being proactive because we had to find ways to do things. It's just how it is. So when you're seeing me do different things, it's just me trying to think what else I need to do during the day. But this is part of what I do. I sell stuff online. So some of the things I sell is clothing. And this just happens to be something I have been delaying on, so I'm now getting to work, as you would say, and working on this. But I hope you can hear the music. I had to switch the mic out. This mic was okay, but you couldn't hear the whole music. I think this quality's better. Hopefully it works accordingly. Hopefully this sounds much better. I really am hoping it is the case. My first couple of videos that I did, I used this mic. And this mic was so beautifully, it sounded so good. This is the lavalier. If you're looking for a mic for YouTube and you're starting a channel, this might be something to consider. The lavalier. I think it's called the lavalier. I think it's great mic. At one point, I was actually doing Poshmark lives, but it just got too complicated, so I stopped. I was hosting Poshmark lives and having people post their images, and maybe sometimes we would sell stuff, but I think more people want their items, so they need a larger. Like I didn't have a huge like following. I mean, I have a huge following, but I don't have like a massive following for like live sales, right? It's like different. I have a reasonable following on Poshmark. I don't have any people, maybe 100 something thousand people. Who knows? Something. Something. Something is better than nothing, right? I'll be with you just now, dear. I don't hear you. Oh, there you are. Hey there. Oops. Oh, sorry. I'm just knitting. I don't know if you can see that. Listening to the music and absorbing what I've just done, knitting, and then speaking to Ask Studio. So I'm just doing a few things. I have a bit of a headache today. I don't know. My brain's a little fogged, as you would say. So I'm taking it slightly easier than I usually would. Okay, folks, thank you. Sorry, it was a slow day. I had a bit of a headache. Hopefully the mic worked. I just want to see if the mic is like a game changer that we could use. Okay. Have a great one. Thank you.